I'm joined here today by the one, the only. It is, of course, Christian Lee, one of the rare fighters that's younger than me that I get a chance to talk to. Coming off the big title defense back in April, or this month, I should say. What's going on, sir? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you. Just enjoying the time here at home.
I have to ask, man, before we get started, you do your research on all these athletes and stuff. I don't know if there's a fighter that has as many like flags they could qualify for as yourself. I mean, I feel like you have every nationality from every continent. Officially, how many nationalities do you have?
So I mean, I was born in Canada, right? I grew up here in Hawaii, so I have the United States passport. I fly their flag as well. But then going back to my roots, my mom, she was born in Korea. My dad was born in Singapore, and so coming to one championship, we decided to fly the Singapore flag, just show our roots. And then now of course, one championship, as they're reaching out, they're like, if you're from the U.S., go ahead and rep that too. So now I got two flags. Maybe one day four, but yeah, I definitely hold each of those places close to my heart, and I would consider them all part of me.
I feel like for you, you're missing the one flag to truly have the trifecta. You have Canada, you have the United States. Could we expect you to spend some time in Mexico so you can have the true trifecta of North America?
Yeah, maybe.
All right, man. Let's talk about this fight a little bit. You're coming off a big victory. I saw everybody was talking about it on social media. Everyone seems excited for you. What was the reaction when you got back on social media? Check your phone, all that good stuff.
It was great. Just a lot of positive support, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all the support that I've gotten from my fans over the years. Just really, I'm just here doing what I love to do, training and competing on a global stage. I love to fight, and I'm just grateful that I have all these great fans supporting what I love to do.
How exciting is it for you? Obviously, I mentioned how young you are. We're almost the same age, but you're at 22 years old. You have this big platform, a lot of people talking about you. How excited does that make you for the future, knowing that, already now you're in a terrific spot in your career?
It makes me very excited because many people, they enter this sport, mixed martial arts, and their goal, their dream, is to one day hold the belt, and that's not an easy thing to do. I'm just very, very blessed to have gotten the opportunity at such a young age and to have won the belt at the age of 20. Um, and so I feel that for me, although this is like really the peak and the highlight of most people's careers, this is just the beginning for me. I still feel that I'm very early in my career, and I'm not even close to stopping yet. So I'm very excited for what the future has.
So I have to ask because you are wearing a boxing T-shirt. We did have a very high profile, very high level boxing match over the past weekend. Did you get a chance to watch the famous Paul versus Askren, boxing match? We can call it that.
I did. I did. My cousin had it on his phone. He pulled it up for us to watch, and I got a chance to watch that.
Do you feel kind of guilty watching it? Like, you're a high class world champion, and then you watch this sort of circus event that a lot of people for them was kind of the guilty pleasure.
Yeah, no, for me, just entertainment. I think that's how it is for most people because, you got two people that are watching it. You got the people that are just fans. They just want to see the event for the entertainment, and then you got the real fighters. And I think all the real fighters across the board, they know that it's just for show. I mean, of course, they are really in there fighting, but it is, all of the talk, you know
Yeah.
the the drama, that's a lot of it is just for the show to get more eyes on it, and that's all it is. um, yeah, just
I mean, for
entertainment.
did you see? I saw a lot of people. I mean, we see the hot takes, right? Like the sport is dead. They're killing boxing. What does this say for MMA? Because Ben Askren lost. What did you kind of make of all that? Were people going way too far with this one?
Well, the thing is, I give Ben Askren a lot of props for even taking the match because he went his whole career basically without throwing a single strike on his feet. He is a very high level wrestler, and without a doubt, he would smoke what's his name, Jake Paul, in an MMA match. He would completely destroy him. So for him to just limit himself to that rule set of boxing, when he's not even a boxer by trade, I give him props for stepping up on such a big stage, to test himself. And you know, as a mixed martial artist, Ben Askren is great. He's an amazing athlete. But it's different when you limit the rule set, and it's especially something that you don't specialize in to begin with. So yeah, a lot of props to him.
You mentioned that earlier for your career. You know, for a lot of people, what you're going through right now, that's the peak. For you, it's just the beginning. What more do you envision in your career when you think about it? Like, if this is just the start, what's kind of the end game? Like, what's sort of the peak for yourself?
Well, for me, I don't have a set goal. I don't have a set target for what I want to accomplish in my mixed martial arts career. I feel like that just kind of puts a cap on your potential because, like I said earlier, many people their one goal, their target is to claim a belt, to become a world champion. But once they become a world champion, a lot of times you see fighters start to start to taper off on their training. They've already reached their peak goal of what they wanted to accomplish. So for me, I just want to keep collecting world titles and keep winning fights and see how far I can take it with this career. I just want to keep making big fights and keep doing what I'm doing right now.
It's an interesting point you bring up because we see a lot of people. They're like, it's one thing to get the title, then you have to hold on. And some guys have issues with that motivation. 'Cause it's like, that's what I was chasing. How do you stay motivated through all these title fights? I assume, you're not quite chasing as much, but you still have to keep yourself motivated.
Yeah, so for me, because of the fact that I never put the world title as my end goal, it really allows me to just continue to have the same mindset I had when I started this journey. I started fighting at 17 years old, and I was just a hungry young kid that wanted to fight everybody, and I didn't want to lose that mindset as I got later into my career. So I just kind of remember why I started this journey and also what I'm fighting for. I got my wife and I got a baby girl coming on the way very soon. So right now I'm no longer fighting for my own personal achievements, but I'm fighting for them. This is also this is my passion, but it's also what I do for a living. So if I don't stay focused, if I don't stay at the top of my game, I don't provide for my family. So uh, I got all the motivation I need.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the baby girl. That's very exciting. I know that, it changes your life in a way. We see for a lot of fighters, the big thing is, their mindset changes, right? Like Cowboy Cerrone went through this period where everybody's talking about him as a dad and how much more dangerous he was. Did that change anything in well, obviously you don't have your child yet, but has that changed anything for you mentally in your fight career?
Absolutely. My last two title defenses, my wife has been pregnant, and so just that fact alone of it's not just going to be the two of us anymore. We're going to have a baby in this world to take care of. It just added so much more motivation, so much more drive to everything that I do. It's crazy. I haven't even met her yet, but I already feel such a strong connection. I just everything I do is to be able to provide for her and for my family and to give them a better life. So uh, that's what drives me every day.
And so you are living in Hawaii, and the big thing a lot of people mention is the fight culture in Hawaii. Like you grow up and you have to fight. There's a few guys I got away from, but we've heard some crazy things. Like I want to say Boston Salmon was saying there's like a national fight white people holiday or something like that. There's some crazy stories we've heard about the fight game in Hawaii. How real is it? Like how real is fight culture in Hawaii?
Well, the thing is, here in Hawaii, you get a lot of tough fighters, especially now. It's great to see so many tough fighters from here on the island making it to the big stage. Making it to one championship, making it to the UFC, and I feel like a lot of that is due to just the fact that here on this island they have. I grew up fighting on the local scene here, and so I fought all the local competition, and they just genuinely enjoy fighting. They just genuinely enjoy the whole culture of training, of getting in there and competing and testing yourself. And I think the biggest thing from a lot of the guys here why they're so successful is they just don't have that fear. They don't have that fear of going in there and losing. You'll see a lot of guys from here on the island. They just want to scrap. They just want to get in there and fight. They don't care if they get hit as long as they're hitting you back. So that's something you can't teach, and that's another thing that definitely gives the Hawaii fighters an edge.
I know for you people, they always want to mention your family and how everybody appears to be a fighter in your family and stuff like that. How competitive is it growing up in a household like that? Because fighting, we know it takes a certain mentality, but if you're not competitive in something like that, you're not going to be successful. How is it having siblings like that and everybody, have that fighting and the competitive mentality?
Well, my sister and I were very close in age. My oldest older sister, and then I got my younger sister, my younger brother. So it's kind of like with the age gap, it was like the two of us growing up and the two of them growing up around the same time. So for my older sister and I, we were always in the gym training with each other, and there's a good and a bad side to having your parents as your instructor and as martial artist because every single day was training for us. My dad, he built out our garage to have mats. So every single day, my sister and I were training, and our only training partners were each other. So for many years, we were just training side by side with each other. And my sister, being 2 years older, I would say she was always beating me. So growing up, it was my sister, just winning everything, and it was just me trying to survive. But that was great, and in the end, it really built a great relationship between the two of us.
So I don't want to stir the pot, but you did mention that before she was the one beating you. How are we looking now? If we go back to the garage where the mats are, have things changed in that capacity?
So it's funny. My sister and I, it started off as I would just get just destroyed by my sister every single day. When we'd have to spar with each other, she just wiped the floor with me. But as I got older, there is a clear difference in strength between men and women. Not saying anything, not being
Right. No, yeah, yeah,
feminist,
no,
but
yeah.
um, so at a certain age, like 14 years old, I was trying to get bigger, and with my skill along with the added strength, it got to a point where I just wouldn't get beaten up anymore. And at that point, I was never really the type of person to try and use that to my advantage to all of a sudden beat my sister up. So from there, I think Angela just knew, and from there we just became more of even training partners, and I would be considerate when I trained with her.
I have to imagine it must have felt pretty good though, right? Like to go from, you're always getting your ass kicked to all of a sudden it's like now I'm on your level. Now we've caught back up. It must have been a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, definitely for me at the time, I was like, wow, okay, at least I know I'm at a level where I can defend myself from my sister.
Yeah.
But by that time, we had our gym running in here in Hawaii, and I was just already sparring with all of the adult fighters on a daily basis. So at that point, we started to kind of grow apart in training in terms of the sparring. She had her own set of group people to train with that were like smaller, and then I would be training with the adults. So that's how we kind of started to split in our training. But we always come back and train together.
For sure. Let's talk about this performance a little bit, man. When you look back, obviously the result, everything's great, but when you look back on it, we know fighters they can be super critical sometimes. Some guys can't even enjoy the victory. But are you able to look back at this one and be happy with your performance?
Oh, definitely. With this fight, I was very happy that everything went according to plan. And as a fighter, that's all I can really ask for, is for everything to go according to plan. We set a specific game plan for Timofey. He was a dangerous fighter, and he has many knockouts under his belt. So I knew that he was going to be coming to do the same to me, and we studied his game so much that I really felt that his aggressiveness was his greatest strength, but also his greatest weakness. And so him lunging in allowed me to just step back, pull, and counter him with a left hook that dropped him, and then I was able to put him away with the ground and pound. So um, very happy with how my performance went.
And so for you, when you see stuff like that, are you someone that watches a lot of tape? I mean, I assume you have to a little bit. Some guys they leave it to their coaches, but how involved are you with tape study and looking at stuff like that?
I definitely watch tape on all of my opponents. I watch tape on all of my potential opponents. I also take notes on them. I study it like a full time job because really that's what it is. I know a lot of fighters have their own thing. Some fighters don't like to watch tape at all, but for me, really, this is my full time job. This is my profession. So I treat it like a job, and I don't cut any corners. If there's even just the slightest detail I can pick up from watching my opponent, then that's one extra advantage I have stepping in there. So, absolutely, I study tape on all of my opponents.
All right. Normally, when I end these interviews, I ask who you want next, but you're the champion, so you're not calling people out. They're the ones coming for you. But realistically, when do you think we're going to see you fight again?
For me right now, after this fight, I'm just glad to take some time off. I'm waiting for my baby girl to arrive into this world any day now, any
Yeah.
second. So from there, all I'm asking for is just a few weeks off with her, and I'll definitely be back in the cage by the end of the year. Maybe once, maybe twice. We'll see, but I'm ready to go.
That's very exciting stuff, man. Congratulations once again. I'm very excited for you. Thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully everything goes well, and then we see you fight soon towards the end of the year.
Thanks, man.